Welcome to Adding Variety to Assessments by Incorporating Arts-Based Modalities. I'm Kathleen Tate, PhD, Department Chair of Teaching, and Professor in the School of Arts, Humanities, and Education. A few points before we begin. First, I hope that you'll be open to ideas. Realize that some sources may be K-12 based, but the ideas and concepts absolutely apply to adult learners as well, whether face-to-face, online, or in hybrid classroom settings. As you consider the ideas presented across fields and disciplines, think about how they carry over to your own field. These ideas are not field specific, and I recommend starting by incorporating an arts-based activity or assessment and related lesson blurb one step at a time. Try it out, see how it goes, refine it, and see how it goes again. So let's start by discussing open-ended arts-based assessments. So what does a quality open-ended arts-based assignment or assessment look like? Well, first of all, these type of assessments allow all students to participate at their own level. So in other words, since they're somewhat open-ended, advanced students will likely demonstrate more substance and more sophisticated ideas, while less advanced students can also participate and will likely demonstrate somewhat less substance or sophistication. And that's okay. It's meeting them where they are at with the content and concepts. These type of assessments permit all students to express their learning and understanding through a variety of pathways beyond just writing a paper. Students can leverage their various strengths to create a project based upon their dominant learning styles or multiple intelligences, as described by Howard Gardner of Harvard University. Open-ended arts-based assessments prompt students' creativity and higher-order thinking skills for deeper connections to the material. Students who engage in more creative assessments must rely upon more complex skills, which helps to develop them further. Since students can participate at their own level and can choose how to express their learning, the assessments are more equitable and inclusive. Providing creative assessments with choice is a way to ensure that assessment is diverse. Let's make sure we're on the same page about what can be used for an arts-based assessment. Let's look at the different art forms. There are 4 basic art forms: visual art, music, theater, and dance. But within those, some may be familiar to you and some may not be. In visual art, we have drawing, painting, sculpting, photography, video, and filmmaking. Music, playing an instrument, writing song lyrics, singing, rapping, writing poetry. Theater, acting, role-playing, pantomiming, improvising, moving creatively, writing and performing skits. And in dance, performing traditional, historical, narrative, expressive, or informative dances. So why use arts-based assessments? I'd like to point out some research that's been around for a while that indicates by 4th grade, if creativity is not addressed, it tends to wane, and it continually falls over the years. And this is something we do not want to have happen to anybody, but creativity can be addressed at any age, any time. The idea is to develop divergent rather than convergent thinking. Offering space, time, choice, varied assignments can help with this by prompting more imagination, new ideas, and greater possibilities. This can help in any field or profession. I don't know about you, but if I was falsely accused of a crime, for example, or needed medical help for a rare issue, or trying to solve a community environment problem, I would prefer to have a lawyer, doctor, environmentalist who could think more creatively and expansively. My goal as an educator is to strive to prepare the most creative, critical thinkers possible in my degree and certificate program so that they can enter the field more prepared to contribute and be more transformative. You still may not be convinced, and I understand. A lot of people view the arts as extra, or they're not for everyone. But I say no, the arts are actually imperative. Citing myself and Brian Faulkner, we explained in our work that according to Goldberg, creativity and imagination are likely 2 of the most important aspects of education and spirited living. Without an ability to imagine and create, cultures would stagnate and the world would be far less interesting. The President's Committee on the Arts and Humanities in 2011 began its document, Reinvesting in Arts Education, Winning America's Future Through Creative Schools, with a similar point by stating that in the global economy, Creativity is essential. Today's workers need more than just skills and knowledge to be productive and innovative participants in the workforce. Let's look at some more justifications for arts-based assessments and approaches. I'll cite myself again. 2014, I wrote that proponents of STEAM state that the arts are necessary for a variety of reasons. Arts education is key to creativity. Creativity is an essential component of and spurs innovation. Innovation is necessary to create new industries in the future. New industries with their jobs are the basis of our future economic well-being. Further, Einstein is quoted as saying, "I'm enough of an artist to draw freely upon my imagination. Imagination is more important than knowledge. Knowledge is limited. Imagination encircles the world." In order to better ensure economic success for our nation, innovation is needed across various fields and industry. Goldberg is one of my favorite authors, and she emphasizes 3 ways to integrate the arts: learning about the arts, learning with the arts, and learning through the arts. I hope those are self-explanatory. She defined arts-based methodologies as the means by which teachers engage students in learning that is meaningful to them and that provides a forum through which they actively grapple with the complexities of knowledge. I think this is a very important quote and something to think about, because what we want is higher order thinking, and the arts is definitely a vehicle to do that in any subject area. Let's look at processes versus products when we're thinking about arts-based assessment. But first, I want to consider guru Elliot Eisner's 2002 quote when he explained that assessment and evaluation should not be confused with measurement, testing, or grading. One can measure without evaluating, evaluate without testing, and assess without grading. Further, evaluation need not focus only on the product of a student's work. It can focus on the process as well. So a few points about process versus product. In terms of process, often more learning takes place during the process of completing an assignment or project. Consider whether process types of activities should be graded or non-graded. Include a reflection component about learning with, through, and or about the arts. When it comes to a final product, when infusing the arts, it is a good idea to include a reflection component about the art component as well. Make sure that sufficient content about the arts was provided, example, a paragraph or more, for example, in a lesson, or online resources. And make sure to avoid making judgments when that product is done or even during the process stages. When providing feedback about the arts, keep feedback based in the content and standards, and avoid it being subjective opinions or views. Pose questions rather than making assumptions. For example, ask, what did the student learn about, through, or with the arts? Ask the student what went best in the process and the learning. Ask what they would do different in the future. Some options for students are that they can perform or evaluate the art, create original art, or respond. So it's perform, create, or respond as options for arts-based assessment. Let's start getting into examples from different disciplines and see what arts-based assessments can look like. For example, at APUS, the BA in Psychology program objective, explain the theories, concepts, and history of the field and its relevance to understanding human cognition and behavior, is a good opportunity to use the theater arts art form role-playing. The idea is to have students take on roles of significant theorists in the field and role-play and debate theories and concepts related to human cognition. Role-playing can be done synchronously live, of course, or asynchronously in a discussion forum. Now, ideally, before getting into role-playing, there is a progression of starting with movement without voice, such as pantomime, and moving into voice games, and then improv, and so forth, on up to skits and role-playing. So it's something to learn about and consider and perhaps research further, but here is an application for consideration in psychology or any area. Let's consider an example in business. The American Public University System AAS and Culinary and Food Service Management Program objective states the students will implement strategies to effectively manage and improve a restaurant's performance. We can use a visual art form, photography, to learn more about this and express learning. The idea is, with permission, of course, students can take photos of various restaurants in the local community to create a collage or visual story to explain restaurant issues and solutions based on course concepts that they learn. The project can be created in Word, PowerPoint, Prezi, Visme, Adobe Spark, any format. It does not matter. Let's examine an arts-based assessment idea for education. The Masters in Education Educational Leadership Program objective is for students to manage daily school operations, including record keeping, finances, and reports. The art form that comes to mind is music. The concept or skill is creating and using standard notation and or recording technology to document and organize musical ideas. The idea here is for students to synthesize, compare, and contrast key aspects of school fiscal management and create and present a song to a familiar tune, such as Three Blind Mice, Over the River, Through the Woods, etc. Explain, though, to students that any familiar pop, rock, or other song may be used. These popular children's songs are just examples, and it is important when infusing the arts in any discipline to emphasize with students that we're not trying to teach them like children. We're just trying to use some familiar, doable resources to help them do more sophisticated thinking and activities. So in the lesson, it's a time to share about basics of music notation, such as rhythm and beat, notes on a scale, etc. Share music sheets for songs. Those are usually more readily available when it's older children's songs, for example. Students may create song words to the tune or submit song words to the tune along with recording of singing the song, and that's where the technology component comes in. So there are choices on whether they perform the song or simply just create it and submit it that way in writing. Let's turn to a global studies example. The Master of Arts in Homeland Security program objective states, recognize terrorist group inclinations in order to forecast risks, types, and magnitude of terrorist threats most likely to confront the nation state. An art form that comes to mind here is theater arts. Concept skill is collaborate with peers to devise meaningful dialogue in a process drama, creative drama experience. Process drama and creative drama are phrases that are used interchangeably in the field. The idea is to form small groups and plan skits collaboratively, apply program concepts about terrorist groups in a scenario, take on roles, and write skits. Perform if possible in face-to-face or synchronous classes, of course. In asynchronous courses or synchronous courses, groups may perform and record skits using a platform such as Zoom and share that way. Or they could simply post the scripts and not perform, and post the scripts in discussion forums and critique them. Dramatizing in person in real time, virtually, those are ideal scenarios. But any structure can help students think through real scenarios and practice what they would say and not say through dramatizing. Let's consider an example in health sciences. The BAS in Health Sciences program objective states, students will evaluate and develop solutions and strategies to complex problems within the healthcare industry. An art form that can be used is painting. The concept or skill is make art or design with various materials and tools. The idea is to learn and apply basics about painting with mixed media. Students may use watercolor, acrylics, etc., and combine painting with drawing or using textures, such as Van Gogh did with impasto style painting. In many cases, everyday household items can be used, like for impasto painting, flour and paint can be mixed and you have texture. But a materials list should be incorporated into the course so that students have these things on hand and know what to anticipate. Have students study some artists, their styles, and some examples of paintings to learn more basics, and for them ideally to choose a style. They may do impasto or something else. Use painting and mixed media to create an original artwork depicting a complex healthcare industry issue and or solution. And then a photo of that piece they create can then be taken and integrated into a traditional paper, a presentation, or any other format. One of my favorite quotes by Einstein is, "The greatest scientists are artists as well." Does that not say it all? Well, and here we go again. I am citing myself. Mangas, Tate, and Harris this year in 2022 suggested leveraging online museum visits and resources and infusing multicultural literature, art, photography, music to help students learn, engage in STEM skills and concepts, as these are exciting options for in-person, online, and hybrid classes. Add dance and other forms to that list. Consider using a video of one or more dancers performing various cultural dances. So Science 133, Introduction to Physics with Lab, course objectives are solve dynamics problems applying Newton's laws of motion, and 2, solve mechanics problems applying the principles of conservation of linear momentum and energy. An art form that comes to mind is dance. So an idea based on Goldberg's work suggests using dance to enhance learning in physics. So have students observe a video of a dance. This can be any kind of dance in any genre. They could observe multiple dancers and analyze each dancer's movement and muscles in terms of motion, energy, relation to gravity, momentum, centrifugal force, time, space, and so on. I hope these examples gave you a lot to think about. If you're concerned that you're not an artist, that's okay. Simply seek out and collaborate with others and ask questions of experts in one or more areas of the arts. There are university professors to talk to internally or externally to American Public University system. There are local artists in your area and artists in online networks. Use online resources to gather ideas and information about the arts and teaching with, through, and about them. There are so many museums have online resources for educators. There are professional blogs, conference proceeding papers you might be able to get access to or through the library, articles, webinars, and just general websites. It may be worth it to invest in some art resources. Join an arts organization, receive journals, or attend conferences and specialized trainings or webinars. Purchase books, research about the arts and education, art forms, etc., and attend local art classes. Please check out these references as they have many more references within them and more information. And here are some additional resources to check into just to get you started. Thank you so much.